my name is Deb Day and welcome back to the channel. A couple of weeks ago I did a video on vitamins that you need as you age. And in that video I had mentioned fortification. So what I wanted to do today was to provide you some background, some context, some things that you should know, things that are important and things you want to keep in mind when you're looking at fortification and even over fortification. Stick around for all the information because this is important. I'll be right back. So using the U.S. government's view on dietary requirements and fortification as an example, and taken from their 2015-2020 dietary guidelines for America, that states that fortified foods and dietary supplements may be useful in providing one or more nutrients that otherwise would be consumed in less than recommended amounts. So, in other words, we may not be getting enough. Fortification has been going on since the early 1900s. They've done that to address nutritional deficiencies across populations. And all of the countries handle it slightly different. In fact, there are over 100 countries now where fortification is mandatory. So what does that mean? So let's start with vitamins and look at the two classifications. There are water-soluble vitamins, and then there's your fat-soluble vitamin. So WebMD says that most people aren't getting mega doses, but if you eat a fortified cereal at breakfast, grab an energy bar for snacks, and have a fortified pasta or grain for supper, plus take a supplement, that you could easily take over the recommended daily amount. So we're going to dissect that information in this video, because what does that mean? So how many times have you sat down and had a double serving of cereal? In fact, how many times have you sat down and actually measured out a serving of cereal in your bowl? If you did that, I'd be willing to bet that more than the average person is taking a double serving of cereal when they fill their bowl. How many times have you had more than one energy-rich snack or meal replacement? Mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon. Easy to do. We all have done it. And how many times have we sat down to have that bowl of pasta or rice, both which are typically enriched? And my question is, have you ever actually measured out what a serving of pasta is or a serving of rice? Measurement is normally done by what you want to do from a calorie perspective, not from a vitamin rich in any one vitamin perspective. How many times have we done all of those things without an issue? I can't even count the number of times that I have. So let's look at the supplement part of that statement. Now by supplement, just to be clear, I'm talking about the bottle. So I've just gone over the statement that WebMD has made. And so far, it doesn't appear to be the actual food, fortified or otherwise, that seems to be the problem. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at the vitamins and the cells. If you have too much vitamin A, it's going to store it. So we're going to look at vitamin A next. Now, Andrew Shell, a PhD, Senior Vice President of the Scientific and Regulatory Affairs for the Council of Responsible Nutrition, a trade group for the supplements industry, says, if you're taking a basic multivitamin, there's no need to fear taking too much. Most multivitamins have such a wide margin of safety that even when you are combining them with fortified foods, it's still not going to cause you to keel over. But what if you take a specified amount of vitamin A from an additional supplement? So recommended dietary allowance, and you would normally see this as RDA, and the other term is the tolerable upper limit, and you'll see that as UL. Now, vitamin A, there are two forms of vitamin A in the human diet. The first one is preformed, and it is found in foods that come from animals. And the second one is a provitamin A that you would find in that's plant-based. So now the upper limits for beta-carotene and other forms of provitamin A have not been established. So if it was an issue, one would think that it would have been established. So for the purposes of this video, we will assume that there is no issue with having too much. Now, preformed vitamin A is different. One statement said that the symptoms of hypervitaminosis A following a sudden massive intake, as it has happened with Arctic explorers consuming polar bear liver. Now, I found that statement fascinating. So I called a friend who has spent years working on Baffin Island and has been out on the land hunting and fishing with Inuk's. I asked him, do the Inuit eat polar bear liver? And he said, no, it's toxic. So overfortification for vitamin A sounds like it is only for the preformed vitamin A and not all vitamin A. So let's look at the daily recommended amount. Your RDA for men is 900 micrograms per day. For women, it's a little bit less. So I looked at the typical serving size in a vitamin A supplement that you would go to the drugstore and purchase. That amount is 3,000 micrograms, which is the upper tolerable limit for vitamin A. Well, now do you see the disconnect? So if you take that vitamin A supplement, you're already at your upper daily limit, and it's not taking into account to any of the food that you might have consumed through the day that has vitamin A naturally occurring in it. So if we go back to the statement made by WebMD, it now makes sense. You could have all of the fortified foods, and the last part of their statement saying, and take a supplement. Well, now that makes sense. So if you're doing all of those things, then there's the possibility that you might be overfortified. All right, so this is the conclusion that I have drawn on overfortification. It would be as difficult to say any one product is overfortified as it would be to determine how many servings of an enriched or fortified food I would be consuming in the run of a day. How many servings of cereal, how many glasses of milk, how many slices of bread, how big is my serving of pasta? How many times did I go back to the pot and have seconds? So how could you monitor that fortification without monitoring the consumption of all of the fortified foods across the run of the day? But if you add a concentrated amount from not a multivitamin, as we heard earlier, but from a specific vitamin, then you're introducing a factor that you might want to give second thought to. So my advice is twofold. Number one, don't eat polar bear liver. And number two, if you are going to take vitamin A in a supplement format, go get your blood work done first. In fact, if you want to know if your body is deficient or too high in any one nutrient, the only way that you can know for sure is to get it done through your blood work. So make sure you always get your blood work done, because at the end of the day, our goal is to be the healthiest version of ourselves possible and to live one kick-ass life. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.